Well, don't read it. Don't read it when you're talking. Hi, Jay. How are you?
So everything's ready. You just gotta push one time and it'll be on. Recording system is not active.
Wow.
I don't know. I think that's what lights are down. They started a little, yeah. But we're not gonna be needing it to the recording. That's not recording. It should be vegan. It should be recording. I've got a recording over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just got one. Julie, you're happy with that? She's happy. She likes this one right now. That one's new, and she likes this.
Okay. All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call a public hearing. Convene. This is for the purpose of entertaining a text amendment to include churches and other places in religious assembly as a permitted use in the general commercial GC zone. So we have our secretary, we approve the posting first.
We can't hear a thing back here. Can you all turn your mics up?
And just one time you should hit it, it should be on. Just maybe speak into them. Hello.
Do you think, would you all like to move in the front seats maybe, in the front row? That might help.
We thought there was a bigger
It's not church.
It doesn't broadcast.
It's really bad for council and for
We'll speak
private.
loud at you.
Yeah, thank you.
It says it's a public hearing at 7 o'clock. It's for the purpose of a text amendment for the churches and other places of religious assembly as permitted use in our general commercial use. We ask our secretary to read this proof of posting. Planning Commission, City of Fort Thomas will hold a public hearing Wednesday, September 18th in the council chambers of the City Building 1 North for 130 North Fort Thomas Avenue, Fort Thomas, Kentucky, for the following item. A hearing to consider the amendment to Article 10, Section 10.12A of the City Ordinance to allow churches or other buildings for the purpose of religious worship, provided they are located adjacent to an RPO street, as permitted in the general commercial zone. Thank you. Okay, text amendment is initiated by some applicant. I assume our applicant is here.
Yes, sir.
So we will ask you to come forward and petition this group as to why we need to change our text.
Thank you. Yes, Jake Fawcett, here representing STPC LLC. Kim Perry is a member of that organization, as well as Grace Fellowship Church. And Peter LaRufa is pastor of that church, and I'm speaking on behalf. Peter actually also has a few moments to speak to you as well. We're here to express our support of this text amendment. As we know, the city is the one that has to present the text amendment. They did it at our request, and I'm going to give you a little background about why we are asking for this. Grace Fellowship Church started in 1997. It was originally located in Newport, Kentucky, and moved up to Fort Thomas Plaza in 2014. Actually, Ruth will tell you that one of the primary reasons they moved up here is that many of their congregants actually live in Fort Thomas. Those that don't usually come here via 471 and 27 to go to the church. The church holds services only on Sunday morning from 9:30 a.m. and second service at 11 a.m. Also has about 4,000 square feet of office space in the plaza. The church has its offices. So some of the key points is that the property, which is Fort Thomas Plaza is located is zoned general commercial. The city is aware the church is operating in the plaza. It's been operating in the reception hall there for 5 years. And while an office use is permitted use in the GC, churches are not specifically delineated as permitted use in that zone. That's why we'd like to see it done. Our request is that the zoning code be amended to allow technically churches and other buildings for the purpose of religious worship, providing they are located adjacent to an arterial street, is added to the GC permitted uses. That language is the exact same language that is used in your zoning code in residential areas. We just wanted to see that same language used in the GC area. So the reason we're asking for this and supporting this request is that, you know, that we want to make sure that this is a legal use under the city's zoning code. If it's not been cited by the city knows where they're operating currently, no one's complained about it. We just want to clarify the situation to make sure that this is seen as a proper legal use. There are several reasons that support this request. One, the city is aware of this use of property as a church and not objected to it. While in the past, churches and other places of worship have located in residential neighborhoods,
Can you speak up, please?
yeah.
I'm not sure, or push the button there, I'm sorry, can you push the button, you should turn it on.
Okay, is that better? Can you hear me better? Okay. The city's been aware of this use and that this property is not objected to it. While in the past, most churches and places of worship have located in residential neighborhoods, in recent years, more and more churches and places of worship are located in commercial zones, often in commercial retail centers. It has ample parking and is located close to our highways. These retail centers are usually located near major highways, making it easy for congregants to visit and leave the church, and also provide ample parking during days and hours when retail uses are limited. Actually, on Sunday mornings, none of those retail uses are open there, only the church is really operating in that center. A review of zoning codes in several cities near Fort Thomas indicate that several cities are now allowing churches and places of religious assembly as permitted uses in their commercial zones. The city of Alexandria zoning code allows churches and other places of assembly as a permitted use in its neighborhood shopping center and in its highway commercial zone. In Boone County, which covers all the cities there, as well as an unincorporated area of that area, we have Florence, Union, and Walton, 3 cities. The zoning code allows churches, synagogues, temples, and other places of religious assembly for worship in its commercial 2, commercial 3, and commercial 4 zones. By the way, there are similar type churches both in Alexandria on 27 and in Florence off of Mall Road. I've submitted examples of those zoning codes with the application I submitted here, so you can see those. Also, the city of Covington probably has the most recently adopted zoning code. I know that because I was city manager there when we adopted it. Allows for religious assembly in commercial neighborhood, commercial community, commercial general, and commercial zones. So it's interesting, the place of religious assembly or church is somewhat similar to a couple other uses that are currently permitted in the GC zone. Theaters, for instance, are permitted, and also as are clubs, including philanthropic type clubs, are permitted uses. So we think this is similar to those types of uses as well. So here's some, we don't think the proposed change will unduly burden the plaza property or the neighborhoods near it. One, the church is located on Imperial Street near the interstate highway. 2 church services are held on Sunday morning when most retail establishments, in fact, all retail establishments at Fort Thomas Plaza are not in operation. And finally, there's no significant impact on residential property in the city as opposed to locating a church in a residential neighborhood. As we know, a lot of times on Sunday, if you go down North Fort Thomas Avenue, there's a lot of parking issues going on there because you have several churches. That's not an issue here because the parking is all done on private property in the center. So for these reasons, we would respectfully request that the Fort Thomas zoning ordinance be amended to allow churches and other buildings for the purpose of religious worship, providing they're located adjacent to Arterial Street. Of course, this is change the GC zone in the entire city, not just for this property. So if there's a future GC zone in the city, that would apply in that zone as well. So that's my presentation. Pastor Ruth, I think I'd like to make 2 statements.
Good evening. Once again, my name is Pastor Peter LaRufa. I'm the pastor of the Fort Thomas location of Grace Fellowship Church. Appreciate you taking the time to hear our request tonight. I'm here to just support the change to the city zoning code to allow churches, as Jay said, in the general commercial zone. And just really thankful that you're considering it, that you're doing it, because we've had 5 years of great success where we are right now, being able to reach the people of Fort Thomas without interrupting their traffic, without interrupting building a church in a residential zone. It's been really great to be able to have them come to us, but then still be their streets in peace. We've enjoyed renting the office space there. Like Jay said, we have about 4,500 square feet of office space that's worked out to be really, really great. And then we just hold our services on Sunday mornings. And the vast majority of the people that come to our church are from the city of Fort Thomas. That's why we moved from Newport to Fort Thomas, because we found even though we were renting space in the movie theaters at Newport on the Levee, the vast majority of people that came to our church were not from Newport, were not from Bellevue, were not from Covington, but were from Fort Thomas. So when an opportunity arose for us to hold our services where the people are, we were really, really grateful for that. And as Jay said, churches nowadays, particularly in the last 10, 12, 15 years, they're not meeting in residential spaces anymore, but not over the past 15 years at least, but are meeting more commercially zoned spaces and retail spaces, places when the parking lots are usually empty, the retail spaces are usually empty. We get to fill it during that time, not disrupt people, but then also keep activity at the plaza. So we're very happy there. It's really worked for us. It's been a great opportunity to meet new people and interact with the city of Fort Thomas, and so we're just appreciative of your consideration for that.
We'll be happy to take questions again. The reason we want to do this is we want to make sure that this is a legal use in your zoning code. The city knows that we're not clear if this would be permitted under your zoning code. We want to make sure that it is. So Tim, here's your answer, but I can answer some property as well. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Well, I was gonna let our staff, basically Kevin, talk here for a moment, and we'll be back at you.
So, the Antique and Design Center, in this particular case, the rationale for the church being in place, the best I can determine, it was done before my tenure here, is the fact that it was a supplemental use to the Antique and Design Center. Antique is a permitted use there. Just as a refresher that there is a space associated with that supplemental use, that's how it's there currently. The request is basically, if that design center happens to move, we want to still be able to have this space here, and I think that's the gist of the request. In looking at our language, the language and why we arrived at this language is that is the language that's in our residential zones as a conditional use. So we wanted to stick with this language and keep consistency with our current language. Lastly, there are several other cities supporting commercial, churches in commercial spaces, and I think that has obviously been presented to you as well. So those are the main points that I have. Certainly I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
I guess the main question I have, I don't think there's any problem at all with this, and that it seems to fit in there nicely, even if they have evening stuff throughout the week. I don't think it'd be an issue because we do have plenty of parking there. It's the other GC zones that then would be allowed to have churches in them. If someone came to you and said they wanted to put a church in one of these other GC zones, they would still have to meet parking requirements and all those kinds of things for those. So, so that couldn't just move a church in without providing the infrastructure that they already have.
Absolutely. It's really no different than if a car dealership such as Jeff Weiler wanted to come in one of our other GC zones. Just not conducive for it, and it probably wouldn't happen. It's very similar in nature.
Anybody else, any comments? Clarification required from the applicant? What are you thinking? I'll entertain a motion.
How about other development questions?
Oh, excuse me. We need our public to talk. I'm sure I'll make every rather than me. If you wish to address us, please come forward and identify yourself and what's your address.
Oh, I just have a quick question. I'm Tiffany Huber at 26 Hawthorne. So and I don't have any issue with, the overall idea of what they're trying to achieve. I'm more concerned about how does that impact then churches that may not be zoned general commercial, the churches that are now zoned professional office. I think some of them are.
I think most of the churches we have, if I'm not mistaken, are conditional uses in residential zones. I can't think of one that's not. going up and down. They're all in residential zones, but the conditional use, essentially, they have to go before a board of adjustment to have permission to be in the residential zone. That's their procedure. They wouldn't come before this board, they wouldn't go before council. Currently, as it stands, if the church wanted to go in a residential area, they would present something to the board of adjustment.
So if they were in that type of residential situation where they have that permitted use,
It's a conditional use.
it's a conditional use, and this will be a conditional use.
No, this is a permitted, this is permitted use.
This will be a permitted, okay, that's all I wanted to, thank you.
Sure.
Juanita Russell, south end of town. And I also don't have any objection. The only thing I don't quite comprehend is if it's conditional or if the worst case scenario occurred with the antique center and some other business wants to go in there, but the church is there, will there be any hinges, since the church may not want to leave there, but the antique center wants to go and there's better opportunity for the property owner? Well, how does that affect that space?
That's why we're doing this. That, we're doing this in case, let's just say the Antique and Design Center moved, that this occupancy as a church could still be there. As it stands, it says supplemental use to the Antique and Design Center. Antique and Design Center is your main permitted use, and it's a supplemental use to that. They're leasing space associated with the Antique and Design Center. So that's why they're here. They want to establish themselves as their own individual use, permitted use in that zone if something happened to the Antique and Design Center.
So in that space, that whole total property space, if something bigger, better, shinier wanted to go in there, but the church is there, is that going to stop that other establishment from being?
They'd have a lease with the
And there is some agreement between the church and the
They
owner
would
of the
have
whole
to have an
property.
agreement with the whole
You know,
property.
right now, the church doesn't own it, I understand, they rent it.
That's right.
So down the road, they would need to purchase it from, kind of the antique guys say, before something happened, or from the guy that owns the whole thing.
Kind of the hypothetical that we were talking about is if in the future at some point, perhaps the church would like to purchase the property and operate as a church,
Right.
then they would have the right to do so.
So I was thinking the other way around, if the
Well,
antique guy wanted to do something, and I know the big.
Then that's
owner-
between them.
I
Okay,
mean, your hypothesis is that the antique guy leaves.
right,
Somebody else, the owner of the property wants somebody else to come in, correct?
right, exactly.
That's the owner's choice.
That's right.
And the church would then have
And then
to
the church has to,
potentially
the
find
church
somewhere
has to
else
abide
or-
by that, find someplace else.
Okay, okay. Which,
Because-
like I
So
said,
they
I don't
can-
have any objection, I'm
It's
just
a lease.
curious.
It's illegal. But
Okay.
if the church, if them or anybody, any other person would want to come in and purchase property and build a church in one of these zones, then they would be permitted to do so.
Okay, great, thanks.
Anyone else have that? Okay, anybody else out there? Thoughts? Clarifications from anybody?
The only clarification I have is, there's and I'm just doing this from memory, there's the antique center, and then I remember they had the assembly, or they had the reception hall or whatever to the right. And then, are you guys still using that, or are you still using the reception hall, or are you using?
We're in Boston.
But you got your own space too, correct?
So we're using there's the Antique Center, the next door is the Event Center.
Right.
That's where we hold our Sunday morning services.
Okay.
And then we have other units that we just use for our office space. So that's separated.
That are leased from the land currently?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so.
Yeah, so that's in there, that's considered office, which is a permitted use already in a general commercial zone.
Motion to include churches and other places of religious assembly as a permitted use in the general commercial code zone. So I guess go to chapter 10, section 10.12.
Second.
Moving
second, we approve the text amendment, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it. Anything else for the good and bad?
Thank you.
Adjourn. All in favor? Aye.